6 of the 3D house start to finish using Revit. We're going to talk about site and topographic information that we put onto our drawing. We'll just have a quick look over here at our Revit. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new view. Okay. In fact, Revit does out of the box come with a site view. So let's just actually have a look at what that has to offer us. I'll double click. It's the first time we've been into the site view, so I assume it's part of the template. Now, with the site view, I would presume that it has a very high top range where you can end up seeing your roof, and then we put our in this case, I don't want my section lines to show, so I'm going to go in. We're going to go into view properties in here, and inside of here, we're going to go and we're going to have, notice there's no underlay set into there. We want fine detail, and we're going to go into visibility. I'm going to go into annotation to start with, and I'm going to turn off my section markers of annotation, and then I'm going to go over to here and see just to have a look at what they've turned off or on. So basically everything seems to be on. Notice that site is on and topographic here is on. And the other thing that shows up is entourage, which is when you put in people and benches and objects like that. So we hit OK on there. So we have in fact a site plan that comes out of the box pretty much set up. It's showing us our roof plan and things like that. So now what I think, let me just go back into there just to verify something here. In visibility, in view range. You see there we have it. Current level 200 feet up. Cut plane is 200 feet up, going down to the bottom level, which is the level below my current level with an off. So basically they've moved the offset and the cut plane up to be 200 feet above the current level. And that's how we basically achieve this type of view. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to go to site. And inside of site, the first thing that we should do is put in property lines, create property lines by table, create property lines by sketching in this case. So I hit OK on that, and I go to lines. And all I'm going to do, in fact, is wheel out with my mouse with a little bit. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to create property like that. Inside of there, that's all I really need to do, which is the confines of my site. So I finish my sketch. Okay. From there, what I do now is I go into TOPO surface. And inside of TOPO surface, I place points, and these are going to be elevation points. So let's say we're going to slope from maybe this is going to be the high point up here, and then this is going to maybe slope down towards here. So elevation, this is off of 0, 0. So we're going to say, well, we need that to be probably 3 feet below grade. So I'm going to put a point in there, and that basically represents 3 feet below. So let's say we have another 3-footer there and we have another 3-footer there. Okay. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to slope down to 3'6". And now I'm going to put in another couple of points over here. Okay. And now I'm going to drop it down to 4 feet. Maybe put a point over here and a point over here and another point over here. Now maybe I want it to go way down. We'll say drop down to be 6 feet. Put a point in there. Maybe another one over here. One over to there. 6-footer there. And then we go down to 7 feet right in the bottom corner here. Okay. Now we're going to have a look at how we can control how these slope increment lines work. What I want to do inside of here is I want to just click on here. I want to move that point over to there. Not that it matters too much. Okay. So those are my that's my grading inside of there, and that looked good. So then I can now go in and say finish surface. Okay, and now that's done. So inside of here, I had a quick look, and I believe the problem that I've got a slight problem here. If I go into modify, my elevation offsets should have been negative numbers, -3 feet off below 0. So I'm going to cancel my surface here, and I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to try this again. So we'll go down and we'll say OK. Property lines are there, topo surface inside of here. We'll say OK, absolute elevation is fine, and we're going to say -3 feet. -3 feet there, and we have a -3 foot line over there, and a -3 foot line over there. Then we can go and drop that down another foot, -4 feet. Add another couple points in here. Okay, -5 feet. My points aren't showing up the way I would like them, but -6 feet. And we'll do that over here to here. We'll say finish surface. And we'll go have a look at that in our 3D view here. We'll see, well, that actually went in the right place, which is basically where our grade would be. And I think what the situation is here is that our view, that this is our surface here, is our view in our site plan. We have to go to view properties, and we need to go back into this view range thing, and we have to say the bottom range is unlimited. Can we say that? And apply and hit OK. And hit OK. There we go. There's our surface. Now, as well as that, we can go into settings here, and we can go into site settings, and we can say that we want at intervals of 6 inches, we want to see a grade line. Okay, once again, settings, site settings. Okay, passing through elevation 0 will have one, but at intervals of maybe every 4 inches, we want a contour. Okay, so we get a contour. We can always go in and, for instance, edit that, and maybe I want to modify, so I can pick on a point, or pick on a point here, and I can move that point up over to this corner over here. Might make that look a little nicer. Okay, finish surface. Okay, I'm going to click on that surface, and I'm going to say, what properties are you? And the material is not listed, so I'm going to go down here to a site material, and I'm going to say site grass. Okay, so now I've changed the material of that. Further to that, I'm going to go up here to settings, and I'm going to go to materials, settings, materials, and I'm going to see what color my site grass is set to be. So I go down here to say site grass, and it's set to be green, which is actually not bad. We don't mind that green at all. And we hit apply, and we hit OK. So if we were to go into a view and say shaded mode now, okay, we're going to see our grading with our green. And now I'm going to actually, I see something here. I need to modify my surface again. And inside of here, I think I have to take this little point and pull that out to there. Makes a bit more sense. And so that's kind of there, and then we can go to our 3D plan now. Okay, and inside of here, I'm going to zoom back a little bit. Okay, you can see now there's our grading, and we can see it's sloping back. Okay, if we take a look at one of our north or south elevations, okay, we're going to see that sloping grade in there. Okay, which is quite nice. And we can control whether we want our grading shown in our elevations or not by going in here into visibility, and this is where we might go in here, for instance, and turn off or on the topo, or turn on and off site. Okay, in fact, we're still in sketch mode here. I'm going to finish my surface, and what happens is puts that grade line in there quite nicely. Go back into here using my shift button. Okay, So we can see that on our south elevation again. Nice grading lines. We'll go back to our site plan. I just want to add a couple more things in here and we'll move on. So for instance, we can go in here and we can add site components like trees and stuff. And if they're not in here, they might be in here under family, in families under planting. Okay, we have some trees that are in there. If you can't find any trees from in your local drawing, then you go where? You go to your component and you say load from library, and then you go and get it from planting inside of there. But we'll go to site and different trees here. These are the size. We'll put a couple of big trees on the lot. Okay, maybe we want to put some shrubs in there. We have any shrubs, we're going to load from library. And inside of there, we're going to go to planting. And let's bring in some shrubs. So we'll bring in some shrubs, and we can see again we have different size ones in here. We maybe bring in some bigger size shrubs, place them around the front of the house here. Of course, you create some sort of hedge as you please, and we'll go in and okay, just to give you an idea, a little bit of an idea on how that's going in. Using my shift button, okay. Starting to look a little more like a property, like a lot. And now we'll go back to site plan again. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a pad in here for our driveway, and we'll make that an asphalt material. So what I'm going to do now is I can see my green lines. I'm going to say I need to add in a pad, and a pad is just a depression that you place inside of the site. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go right to the edge of my property, for instance, out to there. And now I'm going to have a look at the pad properties, and it's going to be on the site plan level. Okay, well, let's go main floor plan minus 2'4", is it? Say let's go 2'5", with an offset of minus 2'5", and that looks good to me. And do we need any more properties of that? Hit OK. Finish our sketch. And a pad can extend beyond the edge of the topo surface. Oh, okay, so that line right there is our problem, and that needs to just kind of move in a bit, I guess. And finish sketch. And there's our pad. Back to our 3D view. Have a quick look at that. Oh my God, isn't that wonderful? Okay, there's our driveway pad. We're going to click on this box here. I'm going to pull that out. Okay. Shift that over to there. Actually, we probably have a little nicer view from over here. Okay. Put our pad in there. We can again pick on that, and we can select it. And I believe we can go in here and change the materials, because right now it's set to be site grass, so we need that to be site asphalt. And we hit OK and apply that. Okay, last thing we probably want to do here is maybe do a little bit of a rendering. Okay, I'm just going to go into my site plan here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And what we'll do here is we'll lay in a camera, view, new camera. Camera gives us a perspective view. Okay, so we always place our camera, and we're looking this way. Bink, place that in. It's going to create the view for us right away. And we can always change the properties of that camera. If we go back to, for instance, site plan, and we right click here on the site plan and say, or even go to the camera view, was what I was trying to do. So if we go to, when we do the cameras, it's creating these views here for us. 3D2 was the one we were just looking at. Okay. If I can't see where the camera is in plan, I right click on here and I say show camera. Now it's going to show. So when I go back into here, you'll see that camera will be lit up. Sometimes you get in here and you can't find the camera. Go to the view and tell it to show in the view. Then you can double click on here, or you can click on that. You can check the properties, and you've got the eye level and the target elevation. Well, the eye level is maybe we want to be 15 feet up, down, looking down to that is fine. And then if we either double click on this camera or go to our view, we'll see a view in there. Maybe I want to squeeze this up a little bit. By grabbing a grip here, and we just grab a grip and we can slide these in, make our view, crop it off a little bit. Okay, and then for instance we can go in and do a render. To do a render, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to say view, and if you're doing interior or exterior, it makes a bit of a difference. Render in here, and we want to go in as we want to go in to do render, and we want to do a little bit of settings inside of here where we say it's an exterior scene. In this case, it's going to be named scene 1, and then from inside of there we can go in and we can set the environment by saying that we want clouds in our rendering, which is fine, and that looks good. We don't need any haze, and automatic sky is alright, so that's just a little bit. We can go in and we can add play with our lightings. I'm just going to use my sun settings, and from inside of here we can use direct, and then that way you can actually say yourself in the plan and vertical where the sunlight is coming in on your project, or you can go by actual date and time and location by picking a place here on the globe. And so you really need to go in and play a little bit around with the lighting settings in here. And so I'm going to go with I think what's in there, that looks good. We can always redo it. Early spring, we can pick a season in here. Okay, it's going to change our trees and shrubs and stuff. Quality, we're going to go good quality and good quality here for time reasons, and the better quality obviously for radiosity and ray tracing you put in best. Radiosity is something that makes a bigger difference with interior renderings, and so that looks good. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go back now and I'm going to say view. I'm going to go back into render again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say ray trace rendering. And here you can see that it's doing a little bit of thinking. It's going to make a couple of passes. And you can see down here it's 6% as to going through that next pass. So really depending on the settings and how we want our shadows to go will depend. And this actually isn't even the best quality as far as rendering goes. And you can see thereafter it makes a couple of passes. The rendering is there, and again this can be saved in export and saved to a JPEG. This is probably about medium to a little below medium quality. We can get much better quality renderings with Revit as well. So that's not too bad. The other thing we can do is we can go back again into our site plan, and really it's a matter of adding in components into here. So we can go into again site components, or we can go straight to here and we can go to component and we can say load from library, and inside of here we can go to site and we can go to parking. Okay, we can get different symbols and things that we can place. For our site we have also we have what Revit calls entourage, and there's people. These are 2D, but they do come in 3 dimensions when you do the rendering only. So there's people in there, there's a van, there's a truck in there. So there's a couple of things. They're actually quite easy to create. And then there's planting, which are trees and bushes and shrubs. as far as site goes. So the other thing to remember again is with sites is we've got some site settings in here and how the contour lines will increment, and some other values we want to have a look at in here. Sectional, cut line, elevation. So a few things we want to check in as far as site settings go. Okay, the other thing we can do just before we let you go in this lesson is you can always import drawings into Revit here, DWG, DXF, and DGN, and you can bring in those elevation points and take that surface once we get down in here into site. And when you create a topo surface, you can turn around and you can apply that surface to an existing AutoCAD file that has come in with Z coordinates. So that's what we've got for you for Lesson 6 on site and topographic features for Revit software.